Hey guys, John here, host of Mgtow is Freedom. I want to thank you for this golden elixir. It is the elixir of peace. Peace, right? Peace of mind, right? Peace of quiet, personal peace. Welcome back to Mgtow is Freedom and today's discussion. I am your professor, Hominis Emeritus Mgtonius, right? Student of the great Mgtocrates, that ancient philosopher who said, go your own way. That's good stuff. I get a lot of commentary. John, give us how to do it. Tell us your perspective and your opinion, and that's all I ever really give. I don't tell people how to do it. I just kind of give my perspective. But tell us how you think men should go about building their lives positively. You know, and so I've done a couple videos like that. I just did a really fun one a few days ago where I got out the board of truth, and I went over, building wealth and building yourself and the reasons for it. But the reason I stay negative, right? That is talking about the negative factor, the gold-digging bitch factor, is because if you take an equation, and you're the equation, lots of variables in that equation, you take that equation and you remove the negative from it altogether, and you're left with just the positive, right? And there's some small negative factors like your boss is an asshole, right? The economy's kind of slow, so you got that, you still have negatives, but take the massive amount of negative in your life and just throw it out the fucking window. That's the essence of Mgtow. Go your own way. Take all that negative and throw it away. So that's why I think me and so many other great Mgtow producers, and I can't name them all, and I try and use a little icon at the end of the video, but I get so busy I can't. It's hard to find new ones, and there's so many good ones. Who do you put up there? And anyways, everyone talks about the negatives of women. So it's not about bashing women and feminist per se. It's about pointing out that when you take that and you remove it from the equation and it's just you left, there is so much good you can do. Possibilities open up. Opportunities exist and they become apparent to you. There's no restriction on your movement and your freedom to pursue greatness as you see fit. So that's why we talk about the pitfalls of feminists, the pitfalls of dealing with women. And so today's discussion is about custody, child custody. Now, as a student of Mgtocrates, we go back to ancient man and we study him and his movements. And we see ancient man has destroyed the bear, moved into his cave, created home, peace, safety, security, and warmth. And woman comes to cave man and says, I want in. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll create sons for you, right? And somewhere this myth came along. Anyways, I'll create sons for you. So she guaranteed with that son thing a place in your life where you were obligated to take care of her. The modern version of that is that once you have a son or a daughter, you have to keep taking care of that child, that being, until they're an adult. Right? That's been established in our civilized law. Where this gets used against us is women claim to be the nurturers. They claim to be the source of life and the creation of goodness. And men are more mere donators of DNA. And because man goes to work, he goes out of the cave and creates wealth and brings it back. And he shows everyone, and he says, let me feed you out of my wealth. Right? But because he's gone all day, the wife, the woman, the mom says, Well, I've raised them, and in fact, she has, but so has the man. But women today do less and less and less raising. Now they've entered the workforce, where they go to meet other men to screw and leave you for. The kids go to school, so kids get an equal dose of mom and dad, if not more dad these days, because of mom's selfish needs. Anyways, women still claim they're the one who carried that child for 9 months, and they're constantly reiterating this to the children. Now, do they accidentally do that? Did they learn it from their mom and their grandma? Probably. But subconsciously, women know that they need to try and convince, brainwash, indoctrinate their own children into believing that mom cares more for them than dad does. And therefore, in a divorce, they should go with mom. So they've got that seed planted. Typically, and I mean typically, the woman files divorce with the husband. So she preemptively strikes against him. And she creates a negative environment and threats to the children and tells the children, oh, you're in big trouble. You know, dad's bad, dad's bad, dad's bad, come with me. So not only does she have the initial story of, you need me, I'm your mommy, and mommies are more important. But 2, that dad is a bad person. So they get custody of the child. They get that temporary injunction from the court. They file a paper. Then they have a hearing. Right? The guy's all fucked up. He's flustered. He's got his job to deal with in life and everything else. His wife just left him. She's take the kids. And now he has to go to court and defend himself against these fucking accusations, which are bullshit. Right? So she now has custody of the kids. And what is she going to do with that custody? She's going to let the dad maybe have some visitation. Maybe the weekends, every other weekend, right? And she does that. But there's a very, very specific purpose behind this. And I'm not just talking about the punishment. The punishment. But the purpose of woman getting custody is to increase her wealth as well as punish you. In the video I just did and released yesterday, it was about women seeing marriage as their business. You and I see business, whether we're welders or carpenters, engineers, draftsmen, business managers in retail and wholesale, manufacturing, mining, whatever we do, that's our business. Women are social creatures who have learned to manipulate. From the time they could talk, they started learning to steal from people socially playing games. Their business is relationships and marriage and manipulating people to extract from them resources, time, effort, money, care. That's right. They manipulate to get the care and love from others they need so that they're satisfied. So that they're satisfied. And I can share a story from my divorce. I filed papers because I saw what was coming. It was getting worse and worse. The monkey branching was happening on her part. I knew about it. I was aware of it. And so I filed. Well, she decided in the middle of the beginning of this divorce thing to announce a trip to Italy for 10 days with her new boyfriend. Right? Like that just happened. You spontaneously go to Italy. You just got served divorce papers? No, she's been planning it for a long time. Right? What a fucking lady, huh? What a fucking gem. What a peach. Right? Goes to Italy for 10 days. Comes back and then tries stealing my sons from me. Telling him that I'm dangerous. Telling my sons that I'm dangerous, that I'm a threat to them. I'm thinking, well, you just left for Italy with your boyfriend for 10 days and you left the boys with me and I'm the dangerous one? I'm the bad guy? And she kept them from me for 6 weeks. 6 fucking weeks. I could only see him 2 hours one time and I think another 2 hours another time. Those kids were scared to death when they came to me. And as soon as she drove off, they were fine. The moment she pulled up, they were scared to death. fucking terrorized by her. Manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. Did she really want to do that to her sons? Of course not. I doubt it. But in order to gain the goal, the foothold in the divorce, to get that custody, right? That's what she was after, because it's about control, right? Women could only control their own fate in the cave, right? She goes, I've got a child. It's your child in the cave, caveman, cave woman. And so she could control him that way and say, well, you need to keep me here to take care of your child. Today, women have taken that and go, it's your child, and now it's my child, and you're going to pay for it. And I'm going to control your behavior that way. This is a filthy, disgusting technique used by modern women, modern feminists, to punish men, to steal their children from them. Now, currently, I have 50-50 custody. My sons are sophomore and senior in high school at this time. Right? They're old enough to live wherever they want. And that includes completely with or completely with me. They can make that decision. But I think it's best that a child has both a mother and a father to the extent that it works. Now, I feel like I'm in apocalypse now. We're just going to wait this one out. Fucking Hueys. It's waning. Okay. So women want to control the relationship. And I talked about how they see the marriage as their business. They're taken care of. They're housed. They're clothed. They get transportation. They get an education out of the man. Then they have children with them. They build a retirement. They build an asset portfolio. House or houses, car or cars, business or businesses. They see everything in terms of dollar signs. They get a retirement out of it. And then at some point, whether it's 10 years or 15 or 20 or 25, they leave the marriage. And they take half your shit with her. See, it's a business to her. And then if, say, she's married to you 20 years, she gets 10 years of spousal support, 10 years of alimony. And if there's any time left with the children, she'll take that and get child support out of you, child custody. And then she uses your desire to see your children as a stranglehold on your behavior. That is, if you don't do what she says, even after divorce, she's going to take your children from you, and it's going to cost you even more. Right? Because they can go back to court anytime they want and sue for more child custody. In my particular situation, I got out. I'm supposed to be the one getting child custody payments. Interesting, huh? Guess what I get? A big fat zero. And maybe we'll talk about that later in the next few weeks as I see how that plays out. There was an agreement, and it's been welched on, as usual, that my child custody payments were supposed to go into a fund for something. Well, enough on that. But for the average man, he is the one who loses custody of his children and then not only pays alimony, not only pays her lawyer fees for her to fuck him, but he pays for custody. He pays child support for her to maintain those kids at a certain level. Now, I do understand why the state does this, because they don't want the mom going on welfare. But that's not the way it used to, or that's not the way it is anymore. Women, they can go out in 5 seconds, 5 fucking minutes, and they can get a boyfriend to move